The ship floated through the darkness of space like a dead leaf on a black river. It had no lights. It made no sounds. It simply drifted, turning slowly, going nowhere and everywhere at the same time. Inside the ship, in a small room filled with broken machines and frozen air, there was a glass box. The glass was covered with ice crystals that sparkled like tiny diamonds when the distant stars sent their weak light through the cracked windows. Inside this glass box, a woman slept. Her name was Yuna. She was a lieutenant of the United Earth spaceship, Horizon's Edge. She had brown hair that floated around her face like seaweed underwater. Her skin was pale, almost blue from the cold. Her eyes were closed, and her chest did not move. She looked dead, but she was not dead. She was waiting. She had been waiting for 847 years. The accident happened so fast that Yuna barely remembered it. One moment, the ship was jumping through space, traveling faster than light. The next moment, alarms were screaming. Fire was everywhere, and her captain was pushing her into the cryogenic chamber. "Sleep," he had said. "Someone will find you. Someone will come." But no one came. The ship drifted out of known space, past the edges of human territory, into the great empty void where no maps existed. Years became decades. Decades became centuries. The other crew members died when their chambers failed one by one. Only Yuna's chamber kept working, powered by a tiny backup generator that refused to quit. And so she slept, dreaming of Earth, of her mother's cooking, of warm summer rain, while the universe continued without her. The Marathi found the ship by accident. They were a young species, only recently learning to travel between stars. They looked like cats that had learned to walk on two legs. They had soft fur in colors of orange, brown, gray, and white. They had large eyes that glowed in the dark, pointed ears that moved to catch sounds, and long tails that showed their emotions. They were small, barely reaching the chest of an adult human, and they were very, very curious. The exploration vessel Dawnseeker was mapping a new sector of space when their sensors detected something strange. A metal object, clearly artificial, floating in the void. Captain Minho ordered the ship to investigate. "It is old," said the science officer, a gray-furred female named Sujin. "Very old. The metal is degraded. The power readings are almost zero." "But not completely zero," said Minho. His orange fur bristled with curiosity. "There is still something alive in there." They brought the strange ship into their cargo bay. It took them 3 days to cut through the hole without damaging whatever was inside. When they finally entered, they found death. Frozen bodies in broken glass boxes. Machines covered in dust and ice. And in the middle of it all, one box that still glowed with a faint blue light. Minho approached the box slowly. He wiped the ice from the glass with his paw and looked inside. His eyes went wide. His tail puffed up in shock. "What is it?" asked Sujin. "I do not know," Minho whispered. "But it is alive." The creature inside was unlike anything they had seen before. It had no fur. Its skin was bare and smooth. Its face was flat, with small ears and a small nose. Its eyes were closed, but Minho could see they faced forward, like a predator's eyes. Its mouth was closed, but he could imagine teeth behind those lips. Sharp teeth. The Marathi were not predators. They had evolved from small creatures that ate plants and ran from danger. They had never developed weapons because they had never needed them. The idea of hunting, of killing, of violence was strange and frightening to them. And this creature in the box looked like it was built for violence. They took the box back to their homeworld. Scientists came from everywhere to study it. They gave the creature a name, Subject 1. They argued about what to do. Some wanted to destroy it. Some wanted to study it. Some wanted to wake it up. While the adults argued, a young Mirathi named Bora found her own way to the observation room. Bora was 12 cycles old, which made her barely more than a cub. Her fur was a warm brown color with patches of white on her chest and paws. Her eyes were large and golden, full of wonder and mischief. Her father, Taiho, was the lead scientist studying Subject 1. He often worked late into the night, and Bora often got bored waiting for him. The first time she saw the creature in the glass box, she felt something strange. Not fear, not curiosity. Something deeper. The creature looked lonely. Bora pressed her small paws against the glass. "Hello," she whispered. "Can you hear me?" The creature did not move. Of course, it did not move. It was frozen, sleeping, waiting. But Bora came back the next day, and the next, and the next. She told the sleeping creature about her day. She told it about her lessons, about her friends, about the dream she had last night. She told it about her mother, who had died when Bora was very young. She told it about her father, who was kind but always busy. "I used to have littermates," Bora said one day, her tail curling around her feet. 2 brothers and a sister. But they all went to the academy in the capital. I was too young to go. So now I am alone. She touched the glass gently. "Are you alone too? Is that why you look so sad?" Months passed. The scientists finally decided to wake Subject 1. They prepared medical equipment. They brought security guards, just in case. They made sure everything was ready. Bora was not supposed to be there, but she hid behind a machine and watched. The blue light in the box changed to green. There was a hissing sound. The ice began to melt. The glass lid opened slowly. The creature's chest moved. Up and down. Up and down. It was breathing. Bora forgot to hide. She crept forward, her golden eyes wide, her whiskers trembling. She had to see. She had to be there when her friend woke up. The creature's fingers twitched. Its head turned slightly. Its eyelids fluttered. Bora was right next to the box now, her face inches from the creature's face. The creature opened its eyes. They were brown like dark wood, like warm earth. They were confused and scared and lost. They looked at Bora. Bora gasped and scrambled backward, her fur standing up in surprise. She bumped into a machine and fell on her tail. But she could not look away. She could not be afraid. This was her friend. She crept forward again, slowly, carefully, until her face was close once more. "You are awake," she said, her voice shaking with joy. "I missed you." The creature stared at her. It opened its mouth. It made a sound that Bora could not understand. But somehow, Bora knew what it meant. It meant, "Where am I?" It meant, "Who are you?" It meant, "I am scared." Bora reached out and touched the creature's cold hand with her warm paw. "It is okay," she said softly. "You are safe now. I will take care of you." And for the first time in 847 years, Yuna was not alone. The first days were the hardest. Yuna could not walk. Her legs had forgotten how to work after 800 years of sleep. She could not eat solid food. Her stomach was weak and rejected everything she tried to swallow. She could not speak to anyone because their language sounded like music mixed with purring. And she could not make her mouth form those sounds. But the worst part was the silence in her head. When she closed her eyes, she saw her crew. Captain Park, who had pushed her into the cryogenic chamber. Engineer Minji, who always sang while she worked. Pilot Junho, who told terrible jokes that made everyone laugh. They were all dead. They have been dead for centuries. Everyone she ever knew, everyone she ever loved, was gone. Earth itself might be gone. Yuna did not know if humanity still existed. She did not know if anyone was looking for her. She was the last human in a universe full of strangers, and the loneliness was so heavy that some nights she forgot how to breathe. But then the door would open, and a small brown face would appear, and Yuna would remember that she was not completely alone. Bora came every day. The scientists tried to stop her at first. Subject 1 was dangerous, they said. Subject 1 was unpredictable. Subject 1 had the eyes of a predator and the body of a killer. But Bora did not listen. She was stubborn in the way that only children can be stubborn. She climbed through air vents, hid in supply carts, and once even convinced a guard to let her in by pretending she had lost her favorite toy inside the room. "You cannot keep me away from my friend," she told her father when he caught her for the 5th time. Taiho sighed. He was tired. He was always tired these days. But he saw the way Subject 1 looked at his daughter, and he saw no hunger in those strange brown eyes. He saw only gratitude. "Fine," he said. "But you must be careful." Bora's ears perked up with joy. "I am always careful." This was a lie, and they both knew it. But Taiho let her go anyway. Bora became Yuna's teacher. She brought picture books from the children's library. She pointed at things and said their names in slow, clear sounds. Tree, water, star, friend. Yuna repeated the sounds as best as she could, and Bora clapped her paws together when she got them right. "You are very smart," Bora said one day. "Much smarter than my brother Hansu. He still cannot remember all the star names, and he is 16 cycles old." Yuna did not understand all the words, but she understood the feeling behind them. She smiled, and Bora's tail wagged happily. The translator implant in Yuna's head began to learn. It was military technology, designed to decode enemy communications, but it worked on alien languages too. Slowly, day by day, the strange sounds began to form meaning. Yuna could understand simple sentences. She could ask for water. She could say thank you. She could say Bora's name. "Bora," she said one morning, her voice rough from disuse. Bora's eyes went wide. Her ears pointed straight up. Her whole body vibrated with excitement. "You said my name. You said my name." "Father, father." She said my name. Taiho came running, expecting danger. He found only his daughter, jumping around the room while the alien creature watched with something that looked very much like a smile dawned as Yuna grew stronger. She began to notice things. The Mirathi were afraid of her, not Bora, of course. Bora was afraid of nothing. But the other Mirathi, the adults, they kept their distance. When Yuna walked down the hallways, they pressed themselves against the walls. When she entered a room, conversation stopped. When she looked at someone, they looked away. At first, Yuna thought they were being rude. Then she realized they were being careful. She asked Taiho about it one day when her language skills were good enough for real conversation. "It is your eyes," Taiho said. He was sitting across from her in the research room, his gray tail curled around his feet. They face forward. Only predators have eyes that face forward. Yuna touched her face. "These are normal eyes, not to us." Taiho's ears flattened slightly. "We evolved from prey animals. Small creatures that hid in tall grass and ran from anything with teeth. Forward-facing eyes mean something is hunting you. Your whole species looks like hunters to us." Yuna thought about this. She thought about wolves and lions and sharks. She thought about humans hunting deer and fishing in rivers. She thought about war. "We are hunters," she admitted. "But we do not hunt people. We do not eat thinking creatures." "I know." Taiho's tail relaxed. "I have studied your ship. I have read your records. Humans are complicated. You have great violence in your history, but you also have great kindness." He looked at Bora, who was playing with a puzzle in the corner. "My daughter saw the kindness first. I am still learning to see it. I will teach you, Yuna said. Taiho's whiskers twitched in what Yuna was learning to recognize as a smile. Bora taught Yuna how to play Marathi games. They were gentle games about building and growing and helping. Yuna found them peaceful but a little boring. So Yuna taught Bora human games. This is called rock, paper, scissors, Yuna said, holding up her fist. Bora looked at her paw. I do not have scissors. That is okay. Just make your paw flat for paper, round for rock, and... Yuna thought for a moment. 2 claws out for scissors. They played for hours. Bora lost every single game, but she did not care. She was laughing too hard to care. Again. She begged, her tail wagging so fast it was a blur. They played card games with cards that Yuna drew on pieces of paper. They played hide and seek in the research building. They played a game Yuna invented called Guess What I'm Thinking that Bora was surprisingly good at. One night, Yuna woke up screaming. She had dreamed of the ship, of the fire, of Captain Park's face as the door closed between them. She was crying, gasping, lost in memories of death. The door opened. Small paws touched her hand. Bad dream? Bora asked softly. Yuna nodded, unable to speak. Bora climbed onto the bed. She curled up against Yuna's side, her warm fur soft against Yuna's cold skin. She began to purr, a low rumbling sound that vibrated through Yuna's chest. My mother used to purr for me when I had bad dreams, Bora said. She said the purring chases the bad thoughts away. Yuna wrapped her arm around the small furry body. She listened to the purring. Slowly, her heart stopped racing. Slowly, her tears dried. Why are you not afraid of me? Yuna whispered. Everyone else is afraid. Bora was quiet for a moment. Then she looked up with her golden eyes. I watched you sleep for many months, she said. In your glass box. You looked so lonely, so sad. Like me when my mother died. Like me when my littermates left. She pressed her small head against Yuna's shoulder. Lonely creatures are not scary. Lonely creatures just need friends. Yuna closed her eyes. For the first time since waking up, she felt something other than grief. She felt hope. Thank you, Bora, she whispered. You are welcome, Yuna, Bora whispered back. Now sleep. I will chase the bad dreams away. And she did. 6 months passed. Yuna learned to walk without falling. She learned to eat Marathi food, though she still missed the taste of rice and meat. She learned to speak the language well enough to have real conversations, though her accent made some words sound funny. She also learned that the Marathi were in trouble. It started with whispers. Scientists talking quietly in corners. News reports that stopped suddenly when Yuna entered the room. Taiho looking tired and worried, his fur losing its healthy shine. What is happening? Yuna asked Bora one afternoon. Bora's tail drooped. Her ears went flat against her head. The Vorak, she said quietly. Who are the Vorak? Bad people. Bora hugged herself with her small arms. Very bad people. They come from the outer rim. They take things that are not theirs. They hurt people who say no. Yuna felt something cold in her stomach. She knew this story. Humans have stories like this too. Stories of invaders and conquerors. Stories of war. She went to Taiho. Tell me about the Vorak, she said. Taiho was sitting at his desk, staring at a screen full of reports. He looked older than he had 6 months ago. The white patches in his brown fur had spread. They are a reptilian species, he said. Cold-blooded, large, aggressive. He pulled up an image on the screen. Yuna looked at the creature. It was tall, at least 2 meters. Its skin was thick and scaled, colored a dark green. Its eyes were yellow with slit pupils. Its mouth was full of sharp teeth. It wore armor and carried weapons. They evolved as apex predators on their world, Taiho continued. When they developed space travel, they did not seek trade or friendship. They sought conquest. They take what they want: resources, technology, slaves. And they are coming here? They are already here. Taiho's voice was heavy with despair. They have attacked 3 of our outer colonies in the past month: Bright Hollow, Greenwater, and Starfall. Thousands of our people are dead or captured. We sent messages asking for peace. They sent back the heads of our messengers. Yuna's hands closed into fists. The old training, the soldier's instinct, woke up inside her like a sleeping beast opening its eyes. What is your military doing about this? Taiho made a sound that was almost a laugh, but had no joy in it. We have no military. We have never had one. The Marathi have never fought a war. We have never needed to. When we faced problems, we talked. We compromised. We found peaceful solutions. He shook his head. The Varak do not want to talk. The Varak do not want peace. They want to take, and we do not know how to stop them. Then learn. Taiho looked at her with tired eyes. How? We do not know how to fight. We do not have weapons. We do not have soldiers. We are a species of scientists and artists and farmers. We build things. We do not destroy them. Yuna stood up straight. I can teach you. For a long moment, Taiho just stared at her. Then he shook his head. No, I cannot ask you to do that. You are not asking. I am offering. The council will never allow it. Taiho turned back to his screen. Violence is against everything we believe. Even if it would save us, they would rather die than become killers. Yuna wanted to argue. She wanted to shake him, to scream at him, to make him understand that some enemies could not be reasoned with. But she saw the pain in his eyes, and she knew that he already understood. He just could not accept it. She went to the council anyway. They met in a great hall with tall ceilings and soft light. 12 Marathi sat in a circle, the leaders of their people. They wore simple robes and spoke in calm voices. They listened politely as Yuna made her case. I have fought before, she said. My species has thousands of years of experience with war. I know tactics and strategies. I know how to defend against attackers. Let me train volunteers. Let me help you build defenses. Let me fight for you. The council members looked at each other. Their tails twitched nervously. We appreciate your offer, said the eldest, a white-furred female named Yunji. But we cannot accept. Violence only creates more violence. If we fight, we become no better than the Varak. If you do not fight, you die. Then we die with our principles intact. Yunji's voice was gentle but firm. We will continue to seek peace. There must be a way to reach them. No species is purely evil. They must have reasons for what they do. If we can understand those reasons, we can find common ground. Yuna stared at her. She thought of all the times in human history when people had said the same thing. She thought of all the times they had been wrong. They sent back heads, she said quietly. The heads of your messengers. That is their answer. That is their common ground. The council was silent. Some of them looked ashamed. Some of them looked scared. But none of them changed their minds. The decision is final, Yunji said. We thank you for your concern, but we will find another way. Yuna left without another word. That night she could not sleep. She lay in her bed, staring at the ceiling, listening to the sounds of a peaceful world that was about to burn. The door opened softly. Yuna? Bor's small voice came from the darkness. Are you awake? Yes. The cub padded across the room and climbed onto the bed. Her fur was messy from sleep, and her eyes were worried. I heard what happened at the council. Father told me. Yuna sighed. I tried, Bora. I tried to help. But they will not let me. I know. Bora was quiet for a moment. The Vorak killed my aunt. She lived on Bright Hollow. She was a teacher. She taught little cubs how to read. She never hurt anyone in her whole life. Her voice trembled. They killed her anyway. Yuna pulled the small body close. I am sorry. The council says we must not fight. They say fighting is wrong, but Bora looked up with eyes that were too old for her young face. Is it wrong to fight for people you love? Is it wrong to protect your family? Yuna thought about this question. She thought about soldiers and heroes and monsters. She thought about the thin line between violence and protection. No, she said finally. It is not wrong to protect the people you love. Sometimes, fighting is the only way to keep them safe. Bora nodded slowly. Then her ears perked up with sudden determination. Then I will come with you. What? You are going to help them anyway. I know you are. You are packing supplies. I saw the bag. Bora's tail straightened. I am coming with you. Do not try to stop me. Yuna wanted to say no. She wanted to say it was too dangerous, that Bora was too young, that this was not her fight. But she looked into those golden eyes and saw something familiar. She saw stubbornness. She saw courage. She saw a child who was tired of being afraid. She saw herself 800 years ago on the day she joined the military. Your father will be very angry, Yuna said. Father is always angry when I do brave things. Bora's whiskers twitched. He will forgive me. He always does. Yuna smiled despite everything. Then we leave at midnight. Pack light. Tell no one? Bora jumped off the bed, her tail wagging with nervous excitement. At the door, she paused and looked back. Yuna? Yes? Thank you for not leaving me behind. The door closed. Yuna looked at her packed bag, at the stolen food, and the crude map she had drawn. She was going to war. Again. But this time, she was not alone. The stolen transport ship was small and fast. Yuna had learned how to fly it by watching Marathi pilots and asking questions until they became suspicious. The controls were different from human ships, but the basic idea was the same. Point the ship where you want to go. Push the button. Hold on tight. Bora sat in the seat next to her, her small paws gripping the armrests. Her ears were flat with fear, but her eyes were bright with excitement. I have never been in space before, she whispered. Father always said I was too young. Your father was probably right, Yuna said, adjusting the course. But sometimes young people have to do things they are not ready for. They were not alone. 3 other Marathi had found out about their plan and asked to come. Yuna had tried to refuse, but they were as stubborn as Bora. Jisoo was a young engineer with nervous gray fur and quick, clever paws. She had lost her brother to the Varak attack on Starfall. She could fix anything, she said, and she wanted to fix what the Varak had broken. Hannah was a medic with gentle white fur and steady golden eyes. She had trained to save lives, but now she wanted to protect them before they needed saving. She brought medical supplies and a calm voice that made everyone feel safer. Dohan was a pilot, older than the others, with orange fur streaked with black. He had dreamed of adventure since he was a cub, but Marathi life was peaceful and boring. He saw this journey as a chance to finally do something that mattered. We are probably going to die, Dohan said cheerfully as he helped Yuna navigate through an asteroid field. Probably. Yuna agreed. Good. I was worried this would be too easy. They reached Bright Hollow after 3 days of travel. The colony was on a small moon covered with forests and farms. From space, it looked peaceful. Beautiful, even. But as they got closer, they saw the smoke. The Varak had burned half the colony. Buildings lay in ruins. Fields were scorched black. Bodies lay in the streets, too many to count. The survivors had gathered in the central shelter, a large stone building in the middle of the town. The Vorak had surrounded it, waiting. "Why are they not attacking?" Bora asked, her voice small. "They want them to suffer," Una said. Her voice was cold, hard. "They want them to know that no one is coming to save them. They want them to lose hope before they die." She landed the ship in a hidden valley behind the shelter. The 5 of them crept through the forest, staying low, moving slowly. The Vorak were everywhere, but they were lazy. They were confident. They thought they had already won. They had no idea what was coming. Una found the back entrance to the shelter. She knocked 3 times, paused, then knocked twice more. An old Marathi opened the door, his fur matted with blood and ash. "Who are you?" he whispered. "Help," Una said. "We are help." Inside the shelter, 300 Marathi huddled together. Families held each other. Children cried quietly into their parents' fur. The old and the sick lay on the floor, too weak to stand. Everyone was afraid. Una stood in front of them. "Listen to me," she said. "I know you are scared. I know you think this is the end. But I am here to tell you that it is not. We are going to survive. We are going to fight back. And we are going to win." A young male with torn ears stepped forward. "How? We are not soldiers. We do not know how to fight. Then I will teach you. Right now, tonight." Una looked around the room. "I need everyone who can walk. I need everyone who can carry something heavy. I need everyone who is angry enough to stop being afraid." Slowly, Marathi began to stand. First a few, then more, then dozens. They were scared. Their tails trembled, and their ears lay flat. But they stood. Una smiled. It was not a nice smile. It was the smile of a soldier going to war. "Good, let us get to work." They worked through the night. Una taught them to build barricades from broken furniture and fallen trees. She showed them how to dig trenches and create obstacles. She found farming tools, heavy and sharp, and taught them how to hold these tools like weapons. Jizu found the colony's power generator and turned it into a trap. Anyone who touched the outer fence would get a shock strong enough to stun a VORK. Hana organized the non-fighters. She created a medical station, assigned helpers, and prepared for injuries. Dohan scouted the Vorak positions and counted their numbers. 30 warriors. Heavily armed, overconfident. Bora did something nobody expected. She went to the children. The young cubs were terrified, crying, unable to understand what was happening. Bora sat with them. She told them stories. She played games with them. She made them laugh. And when they asked if the bad people were going to hurt them, she looked at them with fierce golden eyes. "No," she said. "My friend Una will not let them. She is the scariest person in the whole universe, and she is on our side." When dawn came, the Vorak attacked. They came in a wave, 30 warriors with weapons blazing, expecting easy prey. They had done this many times before. They knew how Marathi died, screaming, running, begging. It was always the same. This time was different. The first wave hit the electric fence. 5 Vorak fell, twitching and stunned. The others stopped, confused. This had never happened before. Then Una stepped out of the shelter. She walked slowly, calmly, her hands empty. She was not wearing armor. She was not carrying a weapon. She was just one human, small compared to the massive reptiles, soft compared to their scaled skin. The Vorak commander laughed. He was the biggest of them, nearly 3 meters tall, covered in scars from many battles. He pointed his weapon at Una. "What is this? A pet? A slave who thinks she can fight?" He looked at his warriors. "Kill it. Then burn the rest." Una did not run. She did not beg. She just waited. The commander fired. Yuna moved. She was faster than anything the Vorak had ever seen. The blast missed her by centimeters. She was already running, not away, but toward them. The commander did not understand what was happening. None of them did. How could something so small be so fast? How could something without scales or claws attack instead of flee? Yuna reached the first warrior and took his weapon. In one motion, she turned it around and fired. The warrior fell. She kept moving. She kept fighting. The Vorak tried to hit her, but she was never where they expected. She ducked under their claws, slipped past their teeth, turned her strength against them. When they hit her, she got up. When they cut her, she kept fighting. When they knocked her down, she rose again. Inside the shelter, the Mirathi watched through the windows. They had never seen anything like this. They had always thought of predators as evil, as monsters. But here was a predator fighting for them, bleeding for them, refusing to stop. What is she? Someone whispered. Bora answered, her voice full of pride. She is human. The battle lasted less than an hour. When it was over, the Vorak were running. Not all of them. Many lay on the ground, stunned by the fence, knocked unconscious by Yuna, or tangled in the traps. But enough of them ran. The message was clear. This prey fought back. Yuna stood in the middle of the battlefield. Her clothes were torn. Her skin was covered in cuts and burns. One of her arms hung at a strange angle, clearly broken. But she was smiling. Bora ran to her. You did it! You won! She stopped when she saw all the blood. Yuna, you are hurt. Yuna looked down at herself. She seemed surprised by how badly injured she was. The adrenaline was fading, and the pain was arriving. Oh, she said softly. That is not good. She fell. Bora caught her, though the human was too heavy for the small cub to hold. They collapsed together on the ground. Hannah, Bora screamed. Help her! Please help her! The medic came running. Other Mirathi followed. They lifted Yuna gently, carried her inside, began treating her wounds. Through it all, Bora held Yuna's hand. Do not die, she whispered. Please do not die. You are my friend. You promised to stay with me. Do not break your promise. Yuna's eyes fluttered open for just a moment. Not dying, she mumbled. Just resting. Humans are hard to kill. Then she was unconscious, and Bora could only hold on and pray to whatever gods might be listening. Do not take my friend, she begged. Not this one. Please, not this one. For 3 days, Yuna did not wake up. Her body lay on a bed in the shelter's medical room, covered with bandages and connected to strange Maruthi machines. Hannah had done everything she could, but she was not trained to heal humans. The medicines were wrong. The blood was wrong. Everything was wrong. I do not know what to do, Hannah admitted, her white fur streaked with exhaustion. Her body is so different from ours. I am trying, but I do not know if it is enough. Bora refused to leave. She sat next to Yuna's bed, holding the human's cold hand in her warm paws. She talked constantly, telling Yuna about everything that was happening outside. She described the survivors cleaning up the colony. She talked about the prisoners they had taken, the Vorak, who were now locked in a storage building. She told Yuna about the sunset, which was beautiful, orange and pink like fire. You need to see it, she said. You need to wake up and see it, please. At night, she curled up against Yuna's side and purred. The vibration was supposed to help healing. That was what her mother had always said. Bora did not know if it worked on humans, but she did it anyway. On the second day, a ship arrived. Bora heard the engines and ran outside, her fur bristling with fear. Had the Vorak returned? Were more enemies coming? But the ship that landed was Mirathi, and the person who stepped out was her father, Bora. Taiho ran across the field and grabbed his daughter, pulling her into a tight hug. His body shook with relief and fear and anger all mixed together. "What were you thinking? You could have died. You could have nah, I know," Bora said into his chest. "I know, father. I am sorry, but I had to help." Taiho pulled back and looked at her. Really looked at her. He saw the dirt on her fur, the tiredness in her eyes, the new strength in the way she stood. His little cub had grown up. He did not know whether to be proud or heartbroken. "Where is she?" he asked. "Where is Yuna?" Bora led him to the medical room. Taiho had brought supplies. Real supplies, synthesized from Yuna's own genetic data that he had stored from his research. It had taken him 2 days to create them, working without sleep, driven by desperation. He did not know if he was too late. Hannah helped him connect the new machines. They pumped human-compatible medicine into Yuna's veins. They cleaned her wounds with proper solutions. They set her broken arm with materials that her body would accept. "Will she live?" Bora asked. Taiho looked at the readings on the machines. He did not understand everything he was seeing, but he understood enough. "I think so," he said. "Our body is strong. Stronger than I ever imagined. It is already fighting to heal itself. We just need to give it time." So they waited. More ships arrived. Not Vorik ships. Mirathi ships. News of the battle had spread across the colony networks. Everyone had seen the footage. One human fighting 30 Vorik, one small creature refusing to fall. One stranger protecting people who were not even her own kind. The council that had rejected Yuna's offer was very quiet now. Volunteers came to Bright Hollow. Young Mirathi who were tired of being afraid. Scientists who wanted to help rebuild. Pilots who wanted to learn how to fight. They came because they had seen what was possible. They came because Yuna had shown them. On the morning of the 4th day, Bora woke up to a strange sound. Yuna was breathing differently, deeper, stronger. Her fingers were moving against the blanket. Bora leaned close, her golden eyes wide, her whiskers trembling with hope. Yuna's eyes opened. They were the same brown eyes Bora remembered from that first day, when she had watched a stranger wake up from 800 years of sleep. The same confusion, the same fear, but also something new, something warm. Bora gasped and scrambled backward, bumping into a chair and nearly falling over. Her fur stood up in shock and joy. Then she crept forward again, her face inches from Yuna's face, just like before. "You're awake," she said, her voice cracking. "I missed you." Yuna's dry lips curved into a smile. It hurt to smile, but she did it anyway. "I missed you too, little one." Bora burst into tears. She threw herself at Yuna, hugging her carefully, mindful of the bandages, but unable to stay away. Her whole body shook with sobs of relief. "I thought you were going to die. I thought I was going to lose you. I told you not to die. I told you." Yuna wrapped her one good arm around the small furry body. "I heard you. Even when I was sleeping, I heard you. Your purring. Your stories. Your voice." She pressed her cheek against Bora's soft head. "You kept me alive." They stayed like that for a long time. Human and Mirathi, friend and friend, survivor and survivor. Later, Taiho came to see her. "The council wants to speak with you," he said. "When you are ready." They have changed their position. Yuna laughed, though it hurt her ribs. "I bet they have. You saved 300 people. You fought alone against an army. You did what we could not do." Taiho's tail swayed nervously. "They want to ask for your help. Officially, this time. And what do you want?" Yuna asked. Taiho was quiet for a moment. Then he looked at his daughter, who was still sitting on the edge of Yuna's bed, refusing to leave. "I want you to stay," he said. "Not because we need your fighting skills, but because my daughter loves you, and I have learned to trust her judgment, even when it terrifies me." Yuna smiled. "I would like to stay." In the weeks that followed, everything changed. Yuna became an advisor to the Mirathi government. She did not teach them to be warriors. That was not what they needed. Instead, she taught them to be protectors. She showed them how to defend without conquering, how to fight without becoming what they feared. The Varak learned to stay away. Word spread among them about the human, about the creature that did not fear death, that could not be stopped, that protected prey as fiercely as any predator protected its pack. They called her many names: the unstoppable, the deathless, the human. To the Mirathi, she was simply Yuna. Bora grew up at her side. She learned everything Yuna could teach her, and some things Yuna never expected. She became the first Mirathi to join a fighting force, not because she loved violence, but because she understood what Yuna had shown her. Some things are worth protecting. Years later, when Bora was fully grown, she stood before a council of many species. The Galactic Alliance had formed, a partnership of worlds that had learned to work together. Mirathi and humans and others, all united. A historian asked Bora to explain how one lost human had changed the fate of an entire species. Bora thought about the question for a long time. "It was simple," she finally said. She opened her eyes. "And she chose us. What do you mean?" the historian asked. Bora smiled, thinking of a scared little cub watching a stranger sleep in a glass box, thinking of golden eyes meeting brown eyes for the first time, thinking of all the moments in between. Yuna could have stayed safe. She could have let us solve our own problems. She could have looked at us and seen prey, like everyone else did. But she did not. She saw friends. She saw family. She saw people worth dying for. Bora's tail swayed gently. That is what humans are. Not the strength or the fighting or the refusal to give up. Those things matter. But the real gift is the love. The way they choose people who are not their own and protect them anyway. The historian wrote this down carefully. And what happened to her? To Yuna? Bora looked out the window at the stars. Somewhere out there, humans had built their own civilization. Somewhere out there, Yuna's people were still exploring, still fighting, still loving. They had found each other again, humans and Mirathi, and the friendship between them had only grown stronger. "She is still with us," Bora said. "She always will be. Far away, on a peaceful planet covered with forests and farms, an old human sat on a porch and watched the sunset. She was gray now, her face lined with age and scars. But her eyes were still warm, still brown, still kind. Beside her sat a full-grown Mirathi with brown fur and patches of white. They did not speak. They did not need to. They just watched the sun go down together, two friends who had crossed the stars to find each other. And that was enough. That was everything.